bit harsh.
No, absolutely true.
Wasn't it via Alan Hudson, the great Tony Waddington, one time Stoke City manager, who called football the working man's ballet?
Well, he's got a point. That's
Anyway,
why I like ballet.
welcome to the South Bank Show today. I think John Benson's film. We're backstage with Thomas Tuchel as he brings his one-man show to the West End. Oh, he speaks like that. Great Melvin Bragg. Anyway,
I thought it was quite good.
And a bit of it's not a complete Chelsea fest. We've got games tonight. We're bringing you live, and we want to talk about those. But we do have. We've already booked Suggs, and we'd already booked Lawrence Delalio. So they're both big Chelsea fans and regulars at the club. So we'll chat to them about it. But before that, Jason Cundy. If you saw the clip, if you didn't hear the sports bar last night, you would have seen the clip today of Jason thoughts straight after that defeat at Dinamo Zagreb, and we'll get his thoughts.
It's not just the losing. You know this. It's the terrible football as well.
Yeah, yes.
There are.
I mean, Gabby and Bonwell talking about that this morning as well on breakfast. But anyway, Jason Cundy joins us next.
Oxby and Jacobs on Talk Sport with EE. EE's full fibre broadband can handle anything. Connect 100 devices in your home and never miss a minute of the match.
At Myra, we believe your bathroom should be your sanctuary. So we bring together thoughtful design with forward-thinking product innovation and service that's always there to make your space as special as it should be. Myra Showers. Make your bathroom your room.
Monopoly is back at McDonald's, and now it's even more at Peeling. Because now with Double Peel, you can peel on pack, then peel on the McDonald's app too. To win prizes like buy a gift experience days, £2,000 TUI holidays, lots of lovely food from the McDonald's menu, £100,000 cash, plus lots and lots of other incredible prizes. Now 18 plus, selected items, subject to serving times and availability. Ends 18th of October, UK only. Register for selected play and claim processes. See McDeerules.co.uk.
Alright, Swingletoes, it's your mate at Rift here to remind you to get your tax refund sorted. If you've paid out for tools, food or travel for work and not been reimbursed, you could be owed some cash. And with the price of everything going up, that could be a nice little Brucey bonus. On average, we get our customers £3,000 back. Search Rift tax refunds today. R-I-F-T! Rift gets tax refunds for me! Rift, we'll get you what you're owed.
We've got it at Selco. Selco is where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals and a wide range of trade quality building products. This month, we've got 15 litres of Magnolia or Brilliant White Ley & Trade Super Latex Matte Emulsion for only £21.99 each ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco is where the trade goes.
That charged the 20%.
Are you fascinated by football?
He's got it!
Tantalised by tennis?
That's an ace!
Giddy for golf? Dizzy about, darts? Well, you tried doing all this alliteration. Anyway, Drive on TalkSport has got all the best in sport covered with the latest form and odds from Paddy Power. Don't miss Paddy Power's multi-sport hacker on TalkSport. Combine your bet across multiple sports, and if one leg of your 4+4 hacker lets you down, Paddy Power will give you your money back as a free bet. Excludes horse racing. Max free bet £10 per day. Minimum odds 1 to 5 per leg. T's and C's apply. 18+ begambleaware.org.
Traffic and travel on TalkSport with Swinton Van Insurance. Looking to insure your van? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Get a quote today. Swinton Van Insurance. In Hertfordshire, delays on the clockwise M25 at junction 23 for the A1M. The inside lane is shut there on the cameras. That's for a mobile crane fire from earlier, so do expect queues on the approach. In Leicestershire, the A42 is shut southbound for a police investigation at the M1. And in Nottinghamshire at Worksop, the A57 is shut both ways after a collision. That's closed between Netherton Road and the Manton Wood roundabout. I'm Adam Moore.
Welcome to Pluto TV, a free streaming service that's no effort at all. With over 150 live channels 24/7, drop in whenever you want for whatever you're into. High-speed chases, tattoo nightmares, Judge Judy on tap, right there, and everything in between. There's no sign-up, and it's completely free.
That's great.
No effort at all.
Easy.
Stream now, pay never. Pluto TV.
Wednesday night, the Champions League live.
What's in the crossbar and it's tagged in?
Get stuck in.
Ajax
versus the Rangers.
Coverage from 5:30, kick-off 5:45.
No one else brings you more Wednesday night Talk Sport 2.
Gino's been in touch. He said, "Why hasn't Emma Hayes' name been mentioned? She's already at Chelsea, proven record, etc." There's some bets going in on Emma Hayes.
She won't get the job.
I wouldn't think so.
She doesn't want the job, and I don't think it will be right. So, I'm not saying she couldn't. She's a brilliant manager, but I think you've got to manage. If somebody like Potter or Poch, they've got massive experience at that level. Her experience is massive at a different level. So, I think it would be I wouldn't imagine she'd want the job, but it wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Mark said, Andy said, let's not do the bloke down 2 minutes after saying he would have pushed him out the plane over Germany. Don't go changing, Andy.
Yeah.
He said.
Do you hear the word joke? Have you ever heard joke?
No, he knows you were joking. He knows you were joking. Anyway, let's bring in Jason Cundy, you got his thoughts on last night's match in the sports bar. Now it's official. Let's get his reaction to the sacking. Good afternoon, Jay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Andy was hoping it would happen. Were you at that stage?
Well, I have to say that some of those messages that you read out earlier, they're on my phone.
But with added swearing.
He's brought you into his mad world. Yeah.
We were swapping messages yesterday. I've been in this situation as Andy has, and every Chelsea fan is. I'm sad to see him go because of what he's done for the club and where we were at the time and what he achieved. I mean, I will never forget that night in Porto against Manchester City, and we will never forget that. So the first thing to say, thank you very much for what you've done for us, because it was an amazing journey, but things have changed, and I'm very, very fortunate and privileged to be around a lot of people at Chelsea, and I've known for a number of weeks that I'm not surprised he's gone. Because there's a few people at Chelsea I speak to, and things at Cobham were not right. The relationship between him and the players was becoming very strained. You saw that in him, you saw that in the performances, and there was a pattern emerging. And as sad as I'm seeing him go, I'm not surprised in the slightest. And I heard Danny Murphy and Jim White talking earlier and talking about there must be something else. There is something else. This is not a surprise to me. So thank you very much, Thomas, but it did feel as though there was so much wrong for Chelsea this season. And I think when you look at him when he first came in, he went back to basics. We were incredibly difficult to score against. And he knew we didn't have the firepower. We win a lot of games 1-0. The Champions League final was the perfect example of that. Now when the money comes in, you spend £100 million on Lukaku, you've got to play a different way. Yeah. And the balance between defending, going through the mid-third and creating chances had really started to deteriorate. And you look at the goals we conceded, in particular sector. You could see in the performances, and like I said, if you knew what I knew, you would not be surprised at this decision. I'm surprised it's come right now. I thought he would have a Fulham and the next Champions League game. That's what I thought, minimum. But after last night's performance, it was dire.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a new thing. This has been going on at Brentford. Look at the performances last season when they got thrashed by Brentford and teams like that. Look at the way they played after they beat Juventus 4-0.
Yes, I heard you say that.
They were terrible. Yeah. Look at the failure to get the best out of all this attacking talent. Conor Gallagher was brilliant for Palace. He's come back to Chelsea. He looks like third of the player. Mount. Was pathetic last night, he was, but he's a much better player than that.
Yeah, and this is his job. His job is to get the best out of these players. Look, I don't think Ziyech has been particularly great since he's been in the club, if I'm honest. Pulisic had 1 or 2 games, and that injury in the FA Cup final really did put him back. But it's Tuchel's job to get the best out of these players, and the relationship between him and the players was becoming strained, and there were things that weren't right, the decision making, and you can tell on the pitch. You can see. You don't need to be at Cobham. You can see on the pitch. You don't have to be even a Chelsea fan to see that. And like I said, if you knew that the relationship, that things were wrong, things were breaking down. And if I knew it, you're sure as Bowley knows it. And if Bowley knows it, then I'm not surprised this decision it's come a little earlier than I thought, but I'm not surprised.
The opposing manager last night said after the match, we had to do everything to make them play slow. I was thinking, they're playing slow, they'll be standing still. I mean, every manager had worked out, every team we played against worked out how to stop Chelsea, how to beat them. Yeah. But that's it. Other than that, and that's an indictment of him, it is.
So, Jason, it looks as if it's Potter or Pochettino. It's looking more and more like Graham Potter if they're chatting to him today, and that would suggest that he's interested in having a conversation. Do you share Andy's concern that he's not worked, if you like, it's an old stock phrase, not worked with big players?
Do you know what? Every managerial appointment is a risk. I don't care. Look at Man United took on Jose, so did Spurs. That I thought that was a bad decision, both of them at the time. I said it on TalkSport. But you look at his resume. Look what he's won. It's risk-proof. No, it's not. So every managerial appointment is a risk. For me, I would go straight for Potter. I've seen what he's done. I've seen what he's turned Trossard and Gross into. I'm amazed those two players are still there. I thought United were going for at least one of those. He's turning in. He gets good players and he turns them into brilliant footballers. Look what he's done for Cucurella. Cucurella hasn't been the same player since he's come to Chelsea.
No, the first game he was, and then once he's in Tuchel's system, that's it. He's been terrible.
But listen, every appointment's a risk. But for me, I would go straight for Potter. I've seen what he's done. Ostersund's, he came to Ostersund's, and you saw what he did. There was a game against Arsenal. I don't know if you remember it in the Champions League. They beat him 2-1. So he does have some European experience, and he can go on the big stage and actually take on some of the big heads. If then he went to Swansea, and then Brighton saw exactly what they wanted, and they took him, and he had elevated. So he's a man that's not afraid to go from Ostersund's to Swansea. He weren't at Swansea long, by the way, and then come straight to the Premier League and has adapted. So there is always a risk. But I have to say, what he has done for somebody, and the style of football, and the way they play, and you look at some of these players now, you think McAllister, the way that he's turned into this he gets the best out of the squad that he's got, and I tell you what, he's got a hell of a squad at Chelsea. Make no mistake, he has got this big squad, and I can't wait to see when he gets his hands on this squad what we look like. If it's anything like Brighton, then we are in for a treat.
But he's got a bit of a job in his hand, because I don't know about you, but I don't think this team is fit. They're not as fit as the team.
Something that you can level out. They fit. But the problem we had last night, at least the blueprint to play against Chelsea, is exactly what they done. Sit deep, 5 and a 4, and then you catch them on the counter. That's how you play against Chelsea. That's it, and it's not just been this season. Previous managers have had. You go back to when Jose played, when he moaned about Sam Allardyce coming and playing 18th century football. That's been a problem for us as a football club. We've got to somehow come up with a solution, and that solution last night, you saw, we ran out of at about the 35th minute. I saw us kind of running out of ideas. We looked a little bit lost, a little bit disjointed, and you saw the way Zagreb grew into the game. Their belief, you could see that spread around the pitch, and in the end, when Ziyech come on, Ziyech, some of the do you know what really summed it up was Reece James's face on the second free kick. It's like, you saw like the first one went, and then you saw the second free kick. It's like, that's not right. There was a foul throw in as well, or Ziyech caught the ball. These little things which you don't associate with a Champions League side that were creeping into our performances. And let's be honest, some of our performances this season have been, we've been poor. Away from home, look, we got away with one against West Ham. We were excellent against Spurs. I agree with that. We should have won it.
Lucky against Leicester. We're really struggling.
Yeah, and then there's a pattern forming, right? And like I said, if Bowley and the guys knew what I know, then unfortunately there's got to be a change. You can't change the squad.
You're back tonight at 10 o'clock. It was your turn in the barrel, wasn't it, last night? Jamie giving you, has everybody seen Jason Cundy? So you'll be hoping Tottenham get cuffed, so you can give him payback tonight, Jason.
Oh, listen. So Tottenham get cuffed, and what will really be icing on the cake is if Liverpool get cuffed as well.
Okay, if Tottenham win, I'll be listening at 10 o'clock. If they don't, I might not be. So
has anyone seen Paul Hawksby?
Special.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, boys. Take care.
Jason Cundy back tonight with Jamie O'Hara at 10 o'clock. we exclusively bring you live commentary of Spurs versus Marseille tonight from White Hart Lane. I don't care, it's in White Hart Lane, call it what you like. Before that, we've got Ajax Rangers. We'll be looking at that game in detail with our Dutch football correspondent. That's the early kick-off over on TalkSport 2 and over on TalkSport 2 from 8. If you're not listening to Spurs, you're listening to Napoli versus Liverpool. So, 3 big games in the Champions League for you this evening on TalkSport 2. We're going to talk pubs with Suggs very shortly from Madness, but he is a big Chelsea fan, so I think we may stray into that area. That's coming up shortly.
Broxted and Jacobs on TalkSport with EE. Connect 100 devices in your home and get whistle-to-whistle match streaming all around your house with EE's full fibre broadband, powered by BT.
Your attention, please. We will shortly be arriving at City Life Central. Passengers wishing to connect with DJs, dinner dates, dungeons and dinosaurs, or maybe just have a good nose round the shops, are advised to exit through the front of the station and simply turn right or turn left. Epic expeditions, cracking concerts, serious shopping. Get closer to the people, places and things you love by train. Nothing beats being there.
Yeah, that's Jeff. He thinks he's missed out on Magnet's massive trade event, where there's extreme savings on kitchens, appliances and joinery. Quality laminate flooring for just £4.25 a square metre. Internal doors from £18 and savings of up to £160 on Beko appliance packs. We told Fred, Jeff. The extreme savings are on until November 30th at Magnet's massive trade event. Magnet trade account holders only while stocks last. VAT at 20%. Full T's and C's at magnettrade.co.uk.
Cheetahs, animals that cheetahs are chasing, red motorbikes, Japanese bullet trains, private jets, children playing Knock Knock Run, the people who read terms and conditions in ads. All of these things are very, very fast, but none of them are instant. Winning prizes on the KFC app, however, is very instant. Download the KFC app today for your chance to win finger-licking freebies with the KFC Rewards Arcade. £3 minimum spend for UK max 2 plays a day. No purchase necessary in Northern Ireland. Write in to get your invite. Participating restaurants only. Full T's and C's apply. See website.
Is this a winder? It has to be a winder. Apart from the birth of my children, this is the best phone call I've ever received in my life.
This is what it sounds like when people win big with the National Lottery. Will you be next? The National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
What you normally hear. Do you really want to know what I missed when you well getting back home? From a little bit and what you'll hear with Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro.
Do you really want to know what I miss more than anything in this world? Being back home with my little bitty kitty, softest thing ever for little ball.
Hear it like never before in unmistakable clarity. Search Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. Out now.
Early breakfast with Paul Coit on Talk Sport with Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. From the goal line to the golf course, the campus to the crease. We've got all the biggest sports stories covered. Wake up to expert debate, analysis and opinion that's guaranteed to set you up for the day. Early breakfast, weekday mornings from 5 on Talk Sport with Adrian Flux. Get a tailor-made quote for your commercial vehicle. Search Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual.
Talk Sport sports headlines with Bostik, a leading brand in construction for over 130 years. For high-performance building chemicals and waterproofing systems you can rely on. Trust Bostik.
Yes, Suggs joining us shortly. We'll get his take on Tuchel's sacking and Lawrence Delalio likewise, although he's ostensibly here to talk rugby. Just a reminder, as we said, 3 big games in the Champions League tonight, kicking off with Ajax Rangers at 6:15. Tottenham Marseille here on TalkSport exclusively. Only place you hear on national radio with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce from 8, and then Napoli Liverpool, that's over on TalkSport 2. Plus, of course, the Sports Bar with Jem O'Hara and Jason Cundy to have your say But all the big stories of the day and tonight's matches at 10. But let's get the sport now with Ben Fletcher.
Ryan Giggs is to go on trial for a second time on domestic abuse charges. This comes after the jury in his first trial failed to reach a verdict following more than 20 hours of deliberations. Giggs says he's obviously disappointed to be returning to court next July, but he wants to clear his name. TalkSport understands Chelsea have been given permission to speak to Graham Potter regarding their new vacancy. Thomas Tuchel was sacked this morning, 100 days into the Todd Bowley era of ownership. Next up for the Blues, the short trip to Fulham on Saturday lunchtime. You can hear that exclusively live on TalkSport. Tyson Fury's told TalkSport Deontay Wilder could beat Anthony Joshua inside 2 rounds. The Gypsy King reckons he could finish AJ off inside 6 or 7 rounds ahead of the proposed fight between the British heavyweights this winter. And Alex Hales is back in the England T20 team 3 years after being frozen out following a failed recreational drugs test. He comes in as a replacement for the injured Johnny Bairstow ahead of the T20 World Cup.
TalkSport Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6. A new day, a new dawn.
Don't you just love our listeners?
I do love our listeners quite a lot.
Featuring a rotating team of top name talent, including Laura Woods.
We've all been there on nights out where we're wearing heels and we can't walk anymore.
Alan Brazil.
Get a hold on the sea. What are you doing? You're making a fool of yourself here.
TalkSport Breakfast.
Any more for any more?
Weekday mornings from 6 on TalkSport.
One step forward.
That's bringing your step, isn't it? What are you doing?
Marvellous.
Madness, of course, and we play that because there's a new TV series coming up shortly. Sounds very interesting. Britain's Greatest Obsessions, it's called, and it features Harry Hill, Lorraine Kelly, Chris Packham, Lisa Tarbuck, Reginald D. Hunter, amongst others, all delving into great obsessions of this nation.
I saw the trail for it. Looked good.
Let's hear the trail, shall we?
So you're probably wondering why I brought you all here today.
It has cost but much.
Yes.
Join me and some familiar faces as each week we take turns discovering the mind-blowing origins of our national obsessions. From humour, what could be more British than the traditional Punch and Judy? To pubs,
This is an atmospheric old gaff, isn't it? There was definitely brewing in these caves going back nearly 1,000 years.
from pets
They don't come when you call their name. They're not very cuddly. Are they men?
to World War II
What's going on here, by the way? I'm not having all this.
It's Captain Manning!
and clubs,
Well, shall we have a drink about tea?
I'm sure there's a way to end by the way that you know me well.
to the weather.
We love to love it, but we love to hate it as well, darling.
You don't need to be obsessed to live here.
Probably my favourite German joke is Gretchen eats my Jägerwald by the Tod.
But it helps.
God bless beer.
A brand new series, Britain's Greatest Obsessions on Sky History.
Yeah, giving you a nice flavour of it.
Yeah.
And
God bless beer.
God bless beer. That's a t-shirt in waiting. Suggs joins us now. Good afternoon, Suggs.
Good afternoon, Paul.
I just, having heard about the state our mutual friend Dave Morley gets in when you touring the Toucan off of Soho Square, and he gets on the wrong train, ends up in Portsmouth instead of Dorking. I understand why you focused on pubs.
We've all gone down one escalator at one point or another, with the old flippers on.
But you're right. I mean, even in the band, I mean, the early days of the band, where would live music be without pubs?
Well, quite, my mum, just to start the conversation, they asked me to do something you like, and I said pubs. I meant, yes, when I was deep out. You know what I mean? My wife's such a daft, and you got you talking about pubs. But no, of course, they were the epicenter of each, sort of little mini microcosm of society where we lived, and every town. Even in London was a collection of towns, and every pub had its sort of epicentre. For us, it was the Dublin class and Camden Town, which was like the post office and the sort of psychiatry unit at the same time, where you could let off your bit of steam. And also, obviously, then we got gigs in pubs, and that's what, give us our break.
I mean, yeah, you kind of delve quite. I mean, you look at the history of beer. It sounds like a tough job, Suggs.
It's what my wife said. My favourite one, right, and it's not funny at all, but where my mum used to live was off the back of Shaftesbury Avenue, and it was called what was it called? It was called the
Oh, yeah, anyway. It was where they all used to hang out. Anyway, there was a brewery. And they had these 18,000 gallons of beer that exploded one summer. I say, it ain't funny, but it flooded 4 or 5 basements. I know where my mum used to be. But I thought, if there's any way you're going to go, do you know what I mean? That's it, mate.
It's like that old joke, isn't it? You know,
that's called a rookery, that's it.
The rookery. Probably someone may have drowned in that.
The 7 Dials, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody may have died in that basement, but they got out twice to go to the toilet. It's one of those, isn't it? It's like the old gag.
This series, the interesting thing about this series is that all 6 of you appear in every show. So you showed the others pubs, and they showed you their obsessions.
No, I've got to say, Andy, that was the nice thing. I didn't know if it was going to work, but straight on, driver. Thank you. I'm trying to talk to some people here. It's Inga, by the way. All right. Hello. Oh, she's lovely. She's driving me straight down the road. But no, that's good. So then we all did our obsessions, did our own documentaries, and watched them all back, and then had to chat ourselves as a group. And then when, you know, there's amazing things like what's your name's done Pass, and then we did
Okay, I had a great days of summer. Why does it have to end? Well, maybe it doesn't. Million Super Jackpot is £108 million. Summer never ends with dream come true money. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app, online and in store. Estimated jackpot subject to currency fluctuations. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Hey, Mark Miller here. We know that money's tight, but there's a way your customers can still afford that dream kitchen in time for Christmas. How? Kitchen Kit has just launched an exclusive offer. 40% off. Yes, 40% off. With free delivery and a price promise. They're made in the UK and delivered within 3 days. Trust me, this is a brilliant product at a fantastic price. Sign up for a trade account at kitchenkit.co.uk and get 40% off all orders. Check out kitchenkit.co.uk.
When people ask me about greener ways to heat their homes, I always recommend Samsung heat pumps. Instead of gas, they use electricity, plus the energy in the air outside to heat your home and water. So not only are Samsung heat pumps low carbon, they're energy efficient too. You can even control your heating with your smartphone, and it's all backed by a 7-year warranty.
Search Samsung heat pumps today for a greener way to heat your home.
A railcard gets you a third off train travel. Now that's everyday savings. Get yours at railcard.co.uk. £30 a year, eligibility, minimum fares and restrictions apply.
Traffic and travel on Talk Sport with Swinton Van Insurance. We know that your van is important to you, so we'll help you find insurance to keep it properly protected. Swinton Van Insurance.
In Hertfordshire, the M25 clockwise is partly blocked after a mobile train fire just by junction 23 for the A1M. In Berkshire, the M4 eastbound is partly blocked after a collision just before junction 13 for Cheveley and the A34. And in Nottinghamshire at Worksop, the A57 is closed for investigation work after a collision. That's shut between Netherton Road and the Manton Wood roundabout. I'm Adam Moore.
Welcome to Pluto TV, a free streaming service that's no effort at all. With over 150 live channels 24/7, drop in whenever you want for whatever you're into. From high-speed chases to tattoo nightmares, Judge Judy on tap, here I am, and everything in between. There's no sign-up, and it's completely free.
That's great.
No effort at all.
Easy.
Stream now, pay never. Pluto TV.
Leave behind the workday blues.
Game day.
This Saturday, exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Liverpool versus Wolves. Coverage from 2:30, kick-off 3 p.m.
on Talk Sport 2.
Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sports. Now, spare report for the Fulham fans. They thought they would find maybe Chelsea on the back foot, not playing particularly well for the London derby this weekend on Talk Sport, 12:30 on game day. And John Norman, Fulham fan, TalkSport cricket correspondent, I think was tweeting earlier on saying, couldn't you have left it another week? So before we talk cricket, yeah, John, you were hoping to catch Chelsea on the hop, weren't you, really?
Oh, I mean, look, Fulham have got probably one of the worst records against their nearest rivals than any other side in the history of sport. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I've seen us beat Chelsea once. I think we've only beaten them twice in my life. So, yeah, I was just starting to dare to dream, you know, tricky away tie in Europe, didn't go particularly well, pressure on the manager. Andy Jacobs texted me all the time saying that he's out, he wants the manager gone, and unfortunately it happened. And there we go.
It's still a difficult fixture, whoever's in charge, because Fulham are playing well. But I've written here, this was during the game, if I was Marco Silva and Fulham, I'd be licking my lip. Clever after the match on Saturday said, oh, we're going to rest up now for Chelsea. No, Chelsea had like a day to go to Europe.
Once it was 2004. We had we were laughing. I remember before the game was to the team we played that day, but you know, this was when Chelsea were in their first coming of absolute brilliance under Mourinho. I mean, the bench you had were better than our first 11. Anyway, we got a lucky win, and the next day I proudly wore my Fulham shirt to the office, and you gave me both barrels. You absolutely destroyed me. I sat there, you came over, it was finger pointing, jabbing in my direction. You absolutely destroyed me, and I stood there and I thought, well, you know, it's not my fault.
You just thought they'd lost. Nothing's changed.
So yeah, I was hoping that, you know, come Saturday I would have rocked up on Monday, I would have worn the same Fulham shirt I wore nearly 20 years ago, and you would have given me both barrels again, but I don't think it's going to happen, sadly.
It might still happen, you don't know.
Well, so on to tomorrow at the Oval, and are you there today, John? Are you
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the mood?
Well, it's fascinating, you know. At about 20 past 9, I thought the fact that Alex Hales was back in the T20 World Cup squad was going to be the biggest sports story of the day. Fast forward 10 minutes, and it's almost been forgotten. But you know, that is the mood. Of course, Hales isn't going to be playing tomorrow; he's not part of the test team. But you know, it was always going to be a tricky decision once Johnny Bairstow's injury ruled him out of the T20 World Cup, whether Hales would be back, and that was really the question that everybody was about to ask Ben Stokes about what his thoughts were on it, because of course Hales was alongside Ben Stokes on that night in Bristol back in 2017 when he lost, and then of course 2019 Hales failed a recreational drugs test, and after serving his ban, the word coming out of the camp with Owen Morgan as captain was that he'd lost the trust of the team, you know, and there's some big names in that side alongside Morgan, and you could imagine that Stokes would be one of them. Fast forward to today, and Hales is back in the T20 World Cup squad. There's no Owen Morgan as captain, of course. Jason Roy misses out as well. That's where the opening came from, alongside Bairstow, and it was put to Stokes about that decision to bring him back. You know, what was Stokes' thoughts? Stokes answered, he's only focusing on what Hales could do on the field.
Everyone's goal is to win that World Cup for England. My goal, Alex's goal, and everyone else who's part of that squad's goal is to win that World Cup. And obviously, again, it's an injury that presents an opportunity to someone else. Alex is definitely one of the best T20 players in the world, and unfortunately, with what happened with Johnny, we had to call another player up, and you know, Alex is definitely one of the guys that bowlers don't want to be bowling at in the T20 format. So, you know, when it comes down to the big moments in games, in World Cup games, knockout games, you know, you want your best players there to be taking that pressure on, and he certainly is one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I think he served his time. You know, he needed to be dropped, but I think it's, you know, you can't write people off forever, can you?
Well, he was dropped because essentially it was felt that for the betterment of the team he didn't play. You can't argue with that, because England, of course, went on to win the 2019 World Cup, a moment that Hales himself has said it left him distraught to have missed out.
Yeah, painful.
Exactly, painful. So look, he's back now. There are people who feel uneasy about that, but essentially the cupboard is a little bit bare. Hales has served a punishment, and you know, there's got to be forgiveness somewhere in the world. So I don't think that Hales would be back in the side if Morgan was still captain, but he isn't, and Stokes isn't captain either, so I can see why he's back. Bairstow, by the way, is a man who's missed out, a freak golf injury, and Stokes was asked about, you know, what a miss he's going to be, and he said he's had a wonderful summer despite that freak injury.
I was devastated for Johnny with the summer which he's had, being one of the main reasons that we've had such a successful summer, to finish off like that, obviously with the World Cup coming up as well. Just absolutely gutted for him, and he should obviously hold his head high. I mean, he's obviously going to be disappointed with the injury and how long he's going to be out, but he should take a lot of pride and be very proud of what he's done in this England team. He's been a massive reason as to why we've had such a successful summer, so that's what he should take away from this.
Yeah, he's played so well. It's very sad and so annoying, really, to get injured. For him to get injured like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that innings at Trowbridge is going to live long in the memory. It was absolutely incredible the way that England went at New Zealand. It's not often at a test match you sit there at tea and nobody knows what's going to happen. England needed 160 from the last session. Second new ball was due. In the end, England didn't even face it because Bairstow went absolutely ridiculous. So that's a real shame. And also, England have gone from a position where they had 4 or 5 absolute World Cup winning guns in their batting order, and with Roy, his form dropping off, Bairstow's injury now, it looks very, very it looks like it's going to be difficult for England to prevent Australia from winning on home soil. But of course, the reason I'm here at the Oval is because it's the 3rd test match of the summer. I've just been in South Africa captain Dean Elgar's press conference. He says this is the biggest match of his career, certainly within his time as captain. The last time South Africa are going to play a 3-test series in about 4 years, which is ridiculous.
That's scandalous, isn't it?
Wow, it is. It's so easy to just kind of look at pictures of 4 test matches here.
Freeze. We were live to Holyrood yesterday for Nicola Sturgeon's laying out the plans for the administration ahead, and we'll look at scientists developing a new test to determine whether people have Parkinson's disease. It has been years in the making. It's based on the power of one woman's hypersensitive sense of smell. Emma Cole will bring you this fascinating story.
We're facing